Hello everybody, how is it going? My name is Lucas and today we are checking out a sick pedal from Pepers down in New Zealand. We're going to be checking out the Dirty Tree Drive pedal. And guys, if this is your first time here or if you've been here before, make sure you are subscribed. I do gear reviews, mixing tutorials, I do giveaways from time to time, and I don't want you to miss any of that cool stuff. So make sure you are subscribed. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, let's get a few little boring details out of the way before we get into the pedal. Gear we're going to be using my Black Cat Ferrule 7-string. I am going to be in drop A flat, and I have Tosin Fishman pickups. And here, the amp we're going to be using is my Revv 100R Mark III. We are going to be on the red channel, and I'm going to be putting on some different buttons, and I'll let you know whenever I am doing that. We will be running through IRs. I'm sorry if you were looking for me to be running through cabs. Cabs, I had to turn too loud to get too good. The amp would be too loud, and everyone would be angry. So we are going to be using some IRs. We are going to be using the GGD Cali cabs. Those are the ones that we are going to be using. We are using a 57 and a C414 for the mics on there. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the pedal off, and then I'm going to put it on. Right now, I don't have any of my amps aggressions on. The gain is like at absolute 0. I barely have any bass in it. The mids are a little bit past 12. They're right around 12. And the high end is kind of around 10 o'clock-ish or so. So let's see what it sounds like with the pedal off, and then I'm going to click the pedal on while I'm still playing, and I'll let you hear the magic that this pedal does. Alright, this pedal is absolute magic, and I'm going to be a little bit biased because I really like it a lot. So, alright, as you heard, without it, things are kind of dull and lacking balls. The second you click it on, boom, you have some balls in there. So the pedal itself, I have the volume like at noon-ish, I have the highs kind of at noon-ish, and I have the lows absolutely off. So I kind of want to start it with the bass settings like this, and I'm going to get into it a little bit. So there's two different settings that it has. You have a TC mode and you have a DT mode. So right now we're in TC mode, and when you're in TC mode, that allows you to interact with the knobs that are on the side. And for those who don't know, this pedal is a variation of the TC Electronics preamp pedal, which they're extremely hard to find these days, and if you do find them, they're very expensive. So this kind of lets you jump into that at a way lower price point. Honestly, I find these are a little bit better because it gives you options that preamp didn't have, because the original preamp you kind of can't turn it on and off. You can turn it on and off. So okay, so we're in TC mode, and I'm gonna jump over to DT mode. And in DT mode, what it is it's kind of like finite settings that you can't really change. The only thing you can kind of interact with is the volume knob. So that is, in my opinion, that's good for, like, say you go to a gig and for some reason you see that your knobs have moved. If you just click it over to DT, that kind of gives you a good starting point, and then whenever you have a break, you can tweak. So I will leave it on. I'm going to play a little bit, and we will jump over to DT from TC. So as you can see, DT sounds really, really great. And like I said, that's a great place to kind of start. If you're having trouble with it, you click to that, and then you can kind of build your tone off of that. Now we're gonna do some more exploring, right? We are gonna move some knobs a little bit. Now you do have a low knob on here, and right now I have it completely off. The whole point of this pedal, as you heard, it gets rid of a lot of that low end that can kind of sound like there's a blanket over the sound and the tone. It gets rid of that, right? So the low knob, you can kind of put some of that back in, but you have to be careful because you can absolutely bloat your tone. So we're going to experiment with that. And a good thing too is I'm going to turn the pies all the way off. And I kind of want you to hear what it sounds like that. It kind of sounds like a cocked wah type of thing. And then when you gauge it a little bit, it'll go away. So I'm going to mess with the highs a little bit. And then I'm going to show you how the lows sound on here. You can get really, really fat. Kind of did it in reverse order than I said I was, sorry. So as you can hear with the lows, it does not take much. When you push it up, it can get nice, big, and fat. My tip for that is control the lows off of your amp and leave the lows in here on 0. Unless your amp has like absolutely no low end at all and you want more touching on here. But I would absolutely leave that alone because I find it functions a lot better if you pull the lows from your amp. High-wise, I could do the opposite of that. I would try to gently, dial it back on your amp and then use the high knob on here to dial it in to get it to taste. So as you heard, when it's all the way off, you get kind of this like weird, not to say weird thing in the mids, but it's kind of like a cocked, to me it sounds like a cocked wah. It's kind of like what it sounds like. But as you turn it up, I guess when you get at 9 o'clock, it's hard to really use clock dimensions on here because of kind of how the knobs are. So whenever you get like at 9 o'clock-ish, as you see it right now, it kind of disappears a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to push it some more and it changes a little bit, and you're going to see what I mean. Alright, with the high cranked all the way up, it gets mighty ice picky there. So for me, I kind of like it in two areas. A little bit off of that cocked wah setting, I guess at 9 o'clock-ish, I guess you could say. I like it right there, but I kind of like it where it is right now. Anywhere from like 12, past 12, like 1, 2-ish, 2.5 o'clock, somewhere in there, you get kind of this cool attack that I really like that. I like that. Whoops. Like, it can kind of be a little bit overbearing, but in a mix, it can kind of be cool. I kind of like it when it's right there. So, I like it a little bit right there. Now, I haven't touched the volume at all. Right before I shot this video, I was warming up, and I find if you keep the volume right around noon-ish, you kind of back away a lot of that kind of high-end nastiness that I tend to dial in too much of, so that's why I pulled it back some. So now I'm gonna mess with the volume, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'll just play it and you'll see. I hope I was able to accurately demonstrate that. I definitely heard it. Like, you hear that kind of that upwind sizzle and that crackle that comes in. I keep pulling that out, and the high endness, I kind of substitute that with the high knob to get things in there. So a break from action, I kind of want to talk about the styles of the pedals themselves. Typically, the default style for this pedal is like green with like a silver-ish in it, and silver for the tree. And you can order another style. It's black like this, but like the lettering and the dirty tree itself is kind of that more of silver. This was a special edition stealth model that I ordered. I kind of posted on one of Pepers' posts, and I was like, a red and black one would look really cool. And he's like, hey, you can custom order them. So if you want to custom order a color, get in contact with Pepers and they can custom order you one from. I'm not sure about price, but there is custom orders available. He does have a lot of other cool pedals too, so if you, while you're there, you should probably check that out too. Now we're moving into the end of the review, I guess you could call it. I'm gonna do some stuff on my amp. So I have two different aggressions on my amp. I have a blue aggression, which jacks up the mids, and then I also have a red aggression, which kind of brings up the low end and brings up some of the high. So I'm gonna mess with that a little bit. The gain in my amp is still at absolute 0. I find it works better because I can get kind of a drier tone, and it's not kind of messing with stuff when I have it that low. The bass, I barely have it at 1. I love this pedal so much because it instantly gets me into that type of tone. I know I'm pushing more towards like a gent type tone, but that's just kind of like one, like, okay, so now I'm gonna use the blue aggression, which gives you more mids, and then the red, like I said, more low end and a little bit more high end. I'm gonna dial back. Actually, I'll leave things where they are, and I'll adjust them whenever we get there. So we're gonna go blue aggression. I'm gonna play a little bit, then we'll go blue aggression, and we'll switch to red. You'll instantly notice a difference. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this pedal rules, right? I love this pedal so much. Thank you for being patient when I was going through those aggressions right there. I kind of wanted to show you what it can do. So if you have different modes on your amp, what I wanted to show is that adjust it. So dial back the highs a little bit, because as you can see, when I went to my red aggression, stuff got boosted, so I needed to pull that out. I love this pedal. Like this pedal is great. I like it more so on extended range stuff, like low tune stuff, 7 and 8s. That is where I think this thing shines. You can use it on your 6-string stuff. Like I play a lot of drop C stuff, and I find my other drive pedals that I have, they're a little bit better suited for it, mainly because I don't have a kind of a buildup of low end. But if you have a buildup of low end, if you're going like low, you need this pedal. I find that it's kind of like a Meshuggah pedal-ish, because it kind of gets you in that range, because they use that TC Electronics preamp for like a lot of their iconic stuff. But you don't necessarily have to push it in that kind of range. I just like the attack. I like the spankiness it is. I like that it kicks out all that mud that is in there. Well, guys, that is going to be it for the Dirty Tree. As you can hear, I'm ranting and raving about it. I like it. I think it's great. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll put the link where you can actually order this if you want to order one. Make sure you like him and stuff on Pepers Pedals. You like him on all the social media sites, because I mean, this pedal is great, and he's been great through the whole process. Because it's going to take a little while to come in, because it is coming all the way from New Zealand, depending on where you are in the country. Mine took about like a month-ish to come in from ordering, and it was fantastic. It got here, no problems. So guys, if you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. If you aren't subbed, you should think about lots of cool stuff going on here. And thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule, watching all the way to the end, hanging out with me. Really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.